Driving the winding roads of Tennessee, saw an anchor on a mountain 1,000 miles from any sea. Can't be too careful, never know what you might need. You know, Noah went from fool to celebrity. From the things I thought I knew, but I'm closer to the truth. There's a distance to be crossed, and it's the space between me and you. There's a silver mist curtain this morning in the pines. This road's a river running through this life of mine. I'm getting tired, but I can't sleep. Too many miles in front of me. You're the only place I really want to be. The things I thought I knew, but I'm closer to the truth. There's a distance distance to be crossed, and it's the space between me and you. I'm getting further from the things I thought I knew, but I'm closer to the truth. There's a distance to be crossed, and it's the space between me and you. I'm getting further from the things I thought I knew, but I'm closer to the truth. There's a distance to be crossed, and it's the space between me and you. And it's the space between me and you.
I'm afraid of my shadow, some people would say. I'm afraid of the weather, a lightning bolt could stray. I'm afraid of what could be and what might have been. A clever woman wouldn't let those feelings come in. I'm afraid, you're afraid of nothing at all. I'm afraid, you're afraid inside. Even talking about it, my stomach churns. Fascination with fire, it doesn't mean you won't get burned. I shine a light on my short suit, shadows come into play. A free Trojan horse with every hope I give away. Lose your grip, let her rip, and that old nightmare of falling. The fright is worse than the fall turns out to be. Stepping off into nothing's the first step of flying. No denying, you gotta leap to see. Where's that fear come from, my little one? Could it be my own heartbeat pounding in my throat? The simple matter before me has me worried I might choke. I gotta find a solution, let my inner child chill, conjure up an inner parent to get up that hill. Lose your grip, let her rip, and that old nightmare of falling. The fright is worse than the fall turns out to be. Stepping off into nothing's the first step of flying. No denying, you gotta leap to see. I'm afraid, you're afraid of nothing at all. I'm afraid, you're afraid inside. Lose your grip, turns out to be. Stepping off into nothing's the first step of flying. No denying, you'll have to leap to see.
Good morning. Stepping off into nothing is the first step of flying. I love that. I love that line. There's a lot of that going on in a lot of different ways right now. Good morning. Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. Whether you're joining us here in the sanctuary or online, we're very glad that you're here. My name is Susan Caldwell. I'm the Director of Religious Education here. Our minister is the Reverend Barbara Jarrell, who is on her summer vacation and study leave and currently is at the Kerrville Folk Festival practicing her other profession as singer and songwriter. And that was her actually with her friend Cookie Garner singing that song that we just heard. Whatever your age, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, your background, your theological perspective, whatever makes up the wonderful conglomeration that is you, if you care to worship with us, you are more than welcome here. Here we lift up our shared values of Unitarian Universalism, which are which is justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. And speaking of generosity, we don't pass the plate anymore, but we do have a basket at the entrance or exit, whichever you prefer to think of it as, at the sanctuary, and you can leave money in there, or there's also a QR code if you want to donate online. I believe our board president has some announcements for us this morning. Susan Yellett. I promise we're not all a spooky cult named Susan. Although there are times out in the community when there are three of us together and we introduce ourselves.
We are a cult, and by the end of your time here, you might want to become Susan also. You find out all of our secrets. I'm teasing. Good morning. Our giveaway the plate this month, and this will be the last time for this, since next week will be June. The summer is coming, you guys. The kids are out. One of them slept in my bed last night, and I'm really tired right now. 3 cats and a kid do not make up for a good sleep. So yeah, our giveaway the plate is the Highland Center, which is just this awesome place on Olive Street that has all kinds of programming going on. If you haven't been there, you're missing out. One of the things that also, just one of the things that All Souls works with is the Highland Blessing Dinner on Thursday nights. Susan's usually there every Thursday night, but we do it the third Thursday? First Thursday, the first Thursday. So that's coming up soon. But you can host at a table, or you can be a server and get there about 5-ish to help set up, and they give a free meal to anyone who comes to the door. They don't ask your ID or who you are or anything, so it's a good program. They have a clothing closet for men, women, and children, thrift store, a lot of just all kinds of stuff is going on there, and the LA8 office is there, where Taha and I hang out pretty much every day. The Volunteer of the Month is our very own Sally Woods, who is the game master extraordinaire, and she's in on almost everything that goes on at this church. So she's sitting up here, Sally Woods. And let's see, what else? Our vegan potluck, the Joy helps work with, is June the 14th, and we're not sure of the activity yet, but they eat a vegan meal and usually watch some movie of some sort. So that's June the 14th. And that's all I've got for this morning. Thank you much.
Thank you, Susan. And she mentioned LA Aid, where she and Taha work. That is Louisiana Advocates for Immigrants in Detention. And thanks to y'all, the children and youth raised over $300 last week for LA Aid. And they're going to tell you more about that in a service next week, where they will also make we'll get the exact amount that they raised, and they will make a presentation to Susan and Taha of the money that they've raised. So I think that is everything. I'll ask you now to join me in the spirit of worship, to let the pew hold you, to take a deep breath, and as you let it out, feel your shoulders drop down from your ears. And maybe just take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, you may find they can lower just a little bit more. Beloved companions, we arrive in this place where all we have to do is breathe. We don't have to impress or convince or win over. We don't have to know the words. It's okay if we didn't read the book, or pass that class, or carry that title, or meet that mark. We don't have to be anything but who we are. Here we rest in essence together and move into this communal rest. As we move into this communal rest, we lay down our burdens, our longing, our craving, our unmet need, our error, our regret, our sudden disappointment, our anxiety, our shame, our sheer exhaustion, our bewilderment, our bafflement, our burgeoning terror. All of this, we lay down together today. As we do this, may we be filled with presence. May we be filled instead with gratitude for people like our speaker today, Reverend Joy Walker, who brings so much spirit and life to our congregation. And in gratitude for those who have served in our armed forces and who have paid the highest price as we observe Memorial Day. And to that end, may we turn our thoughts and our actions and our work toward peace. And may we be filled instead with presence. May we feel held in the comfort of our community. And may we discover new compassion for ourselves and others. May we meet this moment with gentleness, with ease, and with gratitude for this air that we breathe together, for these questions that we ask together, for the justice we seek together, and for the songs that we sing together. Will someone help me with the chalice lighting this morning, our first chalice lighting? Come on, Ivy. Elizabeth, thank you. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other. You can. I've seen you do it. Oh, did anyone want to light the chalice? Not today? Okay. We light this chalice today as a people dedicated to personal growth, yes, and to the power that can grow in us for collective healing. May it burn away the oppressions we have been taught and glow instead with the humility of learning. May it reignite not only our dreams for a better world, but our power to work for it, so that together we finally stop creating more and more of the honored dead to be remembered on Memorial Day. And may the warmth of this chalice extend out into the forgotten alleyways of exclusion and bring us home to love, to welcoming, and to all the challenges and the blessings of this beautiful path to becoming a beloved community. Will you rise in body or spirit and join me in the unison affirmation? It will be on the screen. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. Our opening hymn will be My Life Flows On, an endless song, and Bob is going to help lead us this morning. And thank you so much, Bob.
Life flows on in endless song to lovers' lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails the new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth, it liveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm. Well, to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How could I fear and see? Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging.
I found this story when I learned about Joy's topic about embracing our dilemmas, finding out what we can learn, whether from misfortunes or from mistakes or both. I found this book, I had not seen it before, The Girl Who Makes a Million Mistakes. And it's dedicated to Kobe and Chase. Follow your heart, work hard, and never give up. This is Millie. Whatever she does, she makes mistakes. She pours milk, but misses the glass. Oops. She squeezes too much toothpaste. Oops. She uses too much glue. Oops. She spells banana wrong. And it is one of those words that you don't know when to quit sometimes, banana. Oops. She also runs too fast. Oops. Crash. Millie dreams of being a top athlete. And as you listen to the story, I want you to think about if there's something that you have dreamed about, that you've worked at, that maybe you made mistakes and mistakes and mistakes. I want you to think about maybe a time like that in your own life. So one day she signs up for the hurdle race. It is a race where you jump over obstacles and sprint towards the finish line. Ready, set, go, shouts the announcer. And Millie bolts like lightning, eager to take the lead. But oops, she forgot to tie her shoelaces and her shoe comes off. Millie puts her shoe back on and ties her laces, and she continues the race, but oh no, she forgets to jump and she breaks the first hurdle. Crash. And the second one, bam, crack, snap. Oh my. Jump, Millie, jump, Mom exclaims, jumping up and down herself. Millie finally jumps. Oops, my face. She jumps again. Ouch, my bum. Millie is making a million mistakes. Eek, oomph, bonk, plop. Aye! To stop tripping, Millie jumps high. She jumps very high. She even gets creative, finds a branch, and jumps super high. Bonk, oops, a bit too high. Millie crashes into a tree and loses a tooth. Well, this is embarrassing, she thinks to herself. I'm a top athlete, all right, top of a tree, that is. And then there are all these cats stuck in the tree. Meow. And I can't find my tooth for the tooth fairy. Wah! Okay, Millie, breathe. Millie calms herself. I am strong. I am unstoppable. I will get off this tree. So Millie toughens up and finds a way down. Look, a parachute. It's stuck in the tree just like me. How lucky is that? But the parachute is on the other side. To reach it, she needs something really long. Millie comes up with a brilliant idea. She uses her shoelaces to tie branches together. It's time to test out her super long stick. Millie reaches for the parachute. Yes, it works. Down she goes with a bunch of cats. Millie finds her mom frantically searching for her. Millie, where have you been? Says Mom, worried but relieved. Long story, Mom. But I am determined, says Millie, to be the best athlete ever. So early next morning, Millie practices her jumping skills. She jumps on the bed. She jumps on the couch. She jumps outside. She jumps inside, over the toilet, apparently. She goes boing, boing, boing to the left, and she goes boing, boing, boing to the right. She practices positive self-talk. I am strong, I am confident, I can do this. Most importantly, she focuses on her breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Rainbows, unicorns, whales. Oops, stay focused, Millie. Inhale, Exhale. Is this anyone else's meditation experience sometimes? No, I'm sure not in this crowd. No, it never happens. Finally, the big race day is here. Again, Millie gives it another shot. This time she feels more confident and her shoelaces are tied. Ready, set, go. She jumps over the first hurdle, and then the second, and then the third. Hold on. Millie spots something pearly and shiny. It's her lost tooth. Gotcha, Millie says as she snatches her tooth and wins the race. By turning mistakes into hard work, she has succeeded. Mistakes have made Millie tougher and more resilient. Meow. More friends stuck? Don't worry, I'll get them down. And then somehow she does get them all down all at once. Oops. Mistakes aren't so bad after all. The end. So what did you think? Did anybody remember an experience of your own? Yes, Ivy. Were you raising your hand? No? Okay. Anybody else? Remember something you worked really hard on, made a bunch of mistakes? Yeah, Dominique. Parenting. Yes. Yes, there is no instruction manual. That's the truth. Yes, Ava. Studying for your Spanish final. And you got a 98. You have a booster up here. So that was where that hard work paid off, that effort paid off. Yes, Susan. Crocheting an Afghan for the first time. And so that was a big learning experience. Yeah, she goes like this. Yeah. And Susan, if you've seen her work, she does beautiful crochet work now. So she has worked at that. She has learned that craft for sure. Yeah, Jackson. Memorizing the Gettysburg Address. Yeah, a bunch of us have been there. We remember. Yeah. That takes some time. Anybody else? So, mistakes are part of the deal, right? If we don't make mistakes, it means we probably haven't really tried anything yet. And so that's what to take from this, right? Is mistakes. Mistakes can be embarrassing. Sometimes mistakes can be really funny. Sometimes not so funny. But it's just a matter of keeping that mindset. This storybook called it a growth mindset, which when I saw that kind of jargon at the beginning, I was like, I don't know. But I really do love this book. But anyway, let's sing the children and youth to their class. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. We've got a crew today. That's good. If you'll join me in the spirit of meditation and prayer. Transforming Spirit at work both through and in spite of us. Kindle our courage to take risks for love and connection. Open our hearts and keep them open to receive the lessons we need when we fall or make mistakes. In times of fear and overwhelm, remind us we are not on our own, but intricately woven together in community. Between us, love's power is most fierce. May we open ourselves more fully to its potential and may it make us agents of peace in this world. We carry this prayer in our hearts as we enter the silence. A lot of y'all already know Joy Walker, so I'm not going to do a big, long introduction, except to say that she is a retired pastor in the Unity tradition. She was pastor of the Unity congregation here, and then went to, I believe, another church, and then to a position with Unity, the National Unity Organization, and retired, and chose to come back here and hang with us. And we are so incredibly grateful for that. So that's all I'm going to say. This is Joy Walker, Reverend Joy Walker.
Hello, wonderful friends. It's so good to see you, and it's so good to be here again. Our topic today is appreciating our dilemmas. Appreciating our dilemmas. What do you mean by appreciating our dilemmas? Joy? I mean appreciating our problems, appreciating our quandaries, our tight spots. What I've come to learn over my lifetime, and that's been a long time, that stuff happens to all of us. Challenges will occur. In fact, we're told by one of our master teachers that in this world, you shall have trials and tribulations, but be of good cheer. And I said, what do you mean, Jesus, by being of good cheer? My cell phone just fell down the open sewage drain. I'm going to lose all of my messages, all of my contacts. How can I be of good cheer? Besides, why does trouble come to me anyway? Why did this happen? Spirit led me to pick up a copy of my Buddhist magazine, The Lion's Roar. And I read, since it is unrealistic to hope for a stress-free life, it makes more sense to learn to deal with the stress that inevitably arise. Okay. I reached for the Quran from my bookshelf, and I turned to the page which reads, suffering is an inevitable part of life, but it's temporary, often accompanied by divine mercy. But really? I then opened the Hebrew Bible and read, bad things are a prelude to good things. Now I'm reading from the book of Deuteronomy, where there's a great deal of talk about Moses, who found answers to suffering by his faith. You remember Moses, he went to the mountain with the tablets and he parted the Red Sea later on and so forth. I thought, is there anyone else who wants to chime in about here? The Tao Te Ching says, we should face life's challenges not with force or resistance, but with acceptance and effortless adaptability. Interesting. Okay. Charles Fillmore, metaphysician and co-founder of Unity. What is your answer? Calamity, difficulty, and disaster are the results of wrong thinking. When we take control of our mind, all trouble of every kind dissolves in thin air. Breathe, Joy. Well, it appears to me that each of our spiritual teachers are saying about the same thing. It's an inside job. We experience all of life, the good, the bad, the indifferent, with our mind, our thinking, our thoughts. Although it matters what we are experiencing on the outside, the more important aspect of our life experience is how we are internalizing the challenges and allowing the dilemmas to affect us on the inside. So, master teachers, we understand that stuff happens. The question is, what can we do about it? A few years ago, after driving home from work one evening, I parked my car, as usual, in the driveway by the side entrance to my house and walked inside. And instantly, I heard a loud crash from outside. I looked out of the window and noticed that a limb from my neighbor's tree had fallen and shattered the back window of my parked car. Just that fast. It happened so quickly that I was stunned for a moment. I gathered myself and walked over to my neighbor's house to explain the dilemma. My neighbor took one look at my damaged car and said, "Joy, you need to get your car fixed. Call your insurance company." I said, "But it was your tree limb that broke the window." He said, "I'm not responsible. I'm not going to get it fixed. That was an act of God." And he went back into the house. Appreciating our dilemmas. I would like to report to you that I was of good cheer, since it was unrealistic to hope for a stress-free life, because bad things are prelude to good things, etc., etc. But I was not. Later that spring, the little toe on my right foot became very painful and remained that way for about 2 weeks or so. During that time, I decided to check my health challenge with Louise Hay. Her book was, "You Can Heal Your Life." And I found that I was dealing with too many little details. Little toe. I laughed, but I agreed with Louise Hay that I certainly had a lot on my plate. I did not appreciate this dilemma, however. In early summer, I worked very diligently maintaining an attractive lawn. I planted 2 small trees, put out additional flowers, and added colorful mulch around the trees and plants. I had a great water sprinkler system, and I programmed it to keep the plants in the lawn beautiful. One morning, before going to work, I noticed that one of the sprinkler zones was not working. So I called the sprinkler company. A technician quickly responded and made a 5-minute adjustment and charged me a fee of $107. I thought, 107 for 5 minutes? Another dilemma to appreciate. I think that most of us could make a litany of dilemmas. But after giving serious thought to the teachings of the spiritual masters, I have come to understand that the problems in and of themselves is not our enemy. Neither are the feelings we experience when we have a dilemma. Our anxiety, our worry, our fear are emotions which simply serve as warning bells. They're there to help us realize our dissatisfaction with the way things are in our life. And the good news is, if we are open and receptive, they will help us to move forward with action toward a solution. You see, when we are clear about what it is we do not want, then we're able to know what it is that we do want. And I believe that once we know, that we're able to change the situation. Unfortunately, too many of us keep repeating what we do not want over and over again, and what we do not want keeps showing up in our life. Now, once we know, and once we change our thinking, then we're able to change the situation so that our thoughts are now representatives of our true selves. By true self, I mean our inner being, which is always up for joy, always up for happiness, always up for peace, always up for love. Further, I believe that it's really okay to give ourselves permission to feel unhappy sometimes, because our unhappiness urges us to think appropriately so we can move into action and cause a change to take place. You see, our emotions always let us know what's going on inside. So many of us think that it's the stuff outside of us that makes us upset. That's not true. We are upset because we have allowed the outside stuff to affect us on the inside. We've allowed the outside circumstances to take us away from our happy place, from our joy. Now, although it's okay to worry, get mad, be sad, or whatever, we must not remain there. Because if we do, we're going to have more and more to be worried and mad about. So, back to my 3 dilemmas. After talking to my neighbor about the tree limb, I went back inside the house, sat down, and regrouped in silence. I took a deep cleansing breath, closed my eyes, and meditated. I was overextended work-wise, and I felt a bit overwhelmed. I picked up the phone, called my insurance company to report the accident, and made a conscious decision to let go and allow the universe to handle it. A few weeks later, after getting my car repaired, I received a check in the mail from my neighbor's insurance company. My agent shared with me that my insurance company reported the incident to my neighbor's insurance company, who paid for all of the repairs in full, including my deductible. Good cheer, you bet. When we let go and trust the process, our inner being will provide us with divine guidance to know the next thing to do. Dilemma number 2. I stopped focusing on the pain in my little toe. And as Louise Hay advised, I began to let go of many details in my life. The pain subsided and the healing was complete. I know that pain is simply a signal to make a change. Sometimes physical, sometimes mental. In my case, it was both. I was serving as full-time senior minister of Unity of Shreveport. I was serving as part-time chaplain at the Pines Treatment Center, our state facility for alcohol and drug abuse. I was serving as part-time chaplain for CORE, a gambling addiction center. One of the hazards of being a minister is we sometimes forget that we cannot solve all the world's challenges. So often, negativity surfaces because we are denying our own uniqueness and allowing too much to fit into our plans. When we avoid making a change, we only create greater pain. So, dilemma number 3. I now know why my sprinkler zone failed. It had to do with money. The state of Louisiana announced the closing of the Pines Treatment Center and several other centers across the state. A great deal of energy, negative energy, I should say, began to surface among the employees at the center. I listened to them. This is wrong. I'm too old to find another job. How am I going to pay my bills? And on and on. Often, we do not realize that we're caught up in negativity, even though we're not overtly participating. What I mean is, we may not say anything, but our energy is still flooded by the negative energy around us. I had to change my corroded consciousness and affirm an unlimited, abundant universe of love and care in order to return to my happy place, return to my joy. Further, I had to remind myself that no one or no thing can take my good from me unless I'll allow it. I must respect my dilemma for what it truly is, a need for me to change my thinking and then move forward into where I want to be. If I am resisting change, that can only be more stress, and that can only mean that I am living life in a lesser way. I deserve the best life. A happy life, a joy-filled life. I came to a realization that my dilemmas are really my ally, my inner being, ways of signaling me to change my thinking while awaiting my good. In other words, the spiritual masters, those teachers that I talked about earlier, are telling us to be of good cheer because although there will be stresses in our life, they are temporary. And they are accompanied by divine mercy. In fact, bad things are a prelude to good things. Just take control of our thoughts, and troubles will vanish into thin air. That is my truth. And so, as joy to you, I want to say that when faced with a red light, stop. breathe, and know that a green light is on its way. Appreciating our dilemmas. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Joy. It's always such a gift to us when you are here and speak to us. And just having you as part of the community has been pretty wonderful, too. Our closing hymn is For All That Is Our Life, and I'll ask that you rise in body or spirit, and Bob Jordan is going to come and help us again.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Thank you so much, Bob. Take this as an invitation to imagine how wide this world can be, to face the closing doors before us and move toward the opening windows in our lives. Take this as an invitation to remember a critical truth, that none of us have it all figured out, and that we help one another grow and change. Take this as an invitation to cross thresholds of challenge, not on our own, not for ourselves alone, but side by side, spirits rising and expanding together. Let us go now to share our gifts and our truths with each other and with the world, and to appreciate our dilemmas. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a good day. Go in peace.
Here it comes. Eyes wide open, snap along, yeah. I'm in a tight spot, I don't know how to get out. It feels white hot, I need an escape route to give my best shot. And though I have my doubts, I got my eyes wide open, yeah. I need a miracle, I'm in way too deep to reach the pinnacle. From the bottom of the heap, so steep, can't sleep, beep, beep. You got to keep eyes wide open. Alright. You put your head in the air, shoulders square, eyes wide open. I keep a steady stride, side to side. eyes wide open. You keep ears tuned in. Journey begins with eyes wide open. Hand on the plow, feet on the ground. Eyes wide open. Snap along. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch in. Watch in. Watch in. Look out. Look in with eyes wide open. Dig out. Dig out. Dig in. Bug out. Bug out. Begin to look out. Look out. Look in with your eyes wide open. When you got no idea where to go, what to do, no idea what'll pull you through, no idea, well, it's up to you to keep eyes wide open. Cause there's a miracle waiting in the wings. Miracle, gonna make you sing. A miracle, you just do one thing. Eyes wide open. You put your head in the air, shoulders square, eyes wide open. Steady stride, side to side, eyes wide open. Keep your ears tuned in. Journey begins with eyes wide open. Hand on the plow, feet on the ground. Eyes wide open. Last time, here we go. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch in. Watch in. Watch in. Look out. Look out. Look in. With eyes wide open. You dig out. Dig out. Dig in. Bug out. Bug out. Begin to look out. Look out. Look in. With your eyes wide open. You gotta have eyes wide